I'm sippin', 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 I'm sippin'.
Sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin', I'm sippin'.
Yo,
And
I'm jacking.
And I'm a,
Take over. That's my new ad lib on my verses too. That face is the best. And this is Sippin' with Sammie. I am Sippin' with Sammie. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Get your fucking life together. And I got Saf with me.
and I'm in the building. Yo, yo.
yo. Nah, but as anybody that's been keeping up knows, for a while we was apart, trying to keep it together, Skyping and such. Now it's been a pleasure to be able to do a few of these last couple joints with you. So let's toast to just the opportunity to be able to do that, and for being the fuck alive. Mm-hmm. Now, I felt like,
Not to be said too lightly. Like, that ain't said lightly at all.
right, for those that don't know, in this podcast, as far as Sippin' with Sammie, we have great networks affiliated with us. So we always have a list of people that we want to have on the podcast, that we want to communicate with through the podcast, on film, on air. But this week, I felt like it was important for just me and Saf to kick it and figure some shit out and get some shit off our chest. Because I stated on Flyboy Friday Radio that I'm not okay. And that I want people to realize that it's all right to express that you're not okay. And I don't mean just if you're protesting, express it then. I mean, like, when your white counterparts ask you how you doing, tell them how you fucking feel. Don't drown them with it. It's not necessarily their fault. But be honest about how you feel in these times. You have to lean into your feelings because you have the right to feel that way. Shit is fucked up. Shit is fucked up. And I just want to start with that because I think that how we address our own emotions, because everybody takes things differently and handles things differently and has different temperaments, is important. But one thing that we can all agree on is that shit is fucked up.
Right. Agreed.
So however you feel, whatever level you at it at, it's okay to say it's fucked up.
Right.
It's not cool. You don't have to find excuses or find ways to fit in with people's agendas or attitudes at times like this. You should never have to. But this is a time where you really need to get close to your people, figure out what the fuck is going on, and be honest with yourself about your feelings, because it'll break you.
Yeah, it's just it's definitely saddening, and at the same time you think about like we've been going through this for like hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying it's any better or worse than slavery, but what I'm gonna say is during slavery you knew
what the circumstances was,
what every circumstance was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to define or depict or even think about, because you know what the circumstance is, mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm. So now at every situation or every instance, you have this in your mind when you shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to be afraid for your life to stand anywhere, to drive anywhere, to run anywhere. So
to sleep in your own house, in your own bed.
Right. To eat ice cream in your own house. Like,
I don't understand it.
So it just brings forth a lot of emotion. As a black woman, as a mother of black boys, as a human being, it just says a lot. You know, it just brings a lot of emotion to the table. So,
and I've literally, and we're gonna get specific in a minute, but it's just, I've literally been losing sleep over this shit. I stay up every night, 3, 5 in the morning, watching protests, watching riots, watching how the media handles it, trying to figure out the tone and if it's changing. And a thought that I had recently, I think was yesterday, was, is this the one, or is this the one that lets them know it can happen?
Right.
Because it's very hard to distinguish sometimes.
Right.
And even now, as we're recording right now, they protesting downtown in Philadelphia. And that's looking like it's going kind of bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, like,
So I want to talk about that, right?
I'm on air, twin. You downtown now?
Yeah, I ain't even know what I was getting myself into. They drawn.
Yeah, you wasn't supposed to ride through there. What they doing though?
They in the middle of Broad Street. They down Vine. They in the middle of Broad Street going crazy with signs. they torched the state trooper John at that police station right on Vine. A car. They torched the state trooper car. It's getting crazy. I'm trying to get out of here before it get more crazy. You know what I mean?
Where you going? Slide through.
Where you at?
I'm at the crib.
Station, right?
I'm at the crib.
All right.
Yeah, so ironically he was right on cue because I just said it's going down right now, and my energy, my prayers, my emotions is with y'all. I hope that everybody's doing what's best for the situation and not what they feel influenced to do by other forces at hand, because I've been hearing a lot of funny shit about we've always known during protests, especially in our community, that there's a set of anarchists that come from different walks of life that always get in the fucking mix of this shit and make it look a certain type of way,
Right.
and build a certain perception, and then the media usually will follow up and piggyback on it.
Right.
But one of the differences I'm seeing this year is the media is actually calling it what it is mostly. People in places of position of power are calling it what it is now. They're saying that he was killed. They're saying he was murdered. They never did that before, I don't think, yo.
It was interesting to me to see a member of a major media platform from CNN, the reporter that got arrested along with his crew, a black reporter, whereas his white counterpart did not. I mean, all of this just screams. It's just so many outliers.
And his white counterpart clearly said
inequality.
they treated me completely different than they treated the other 3 people with me.
Yeah. So it just shows the levels of this. It's deep, man. It's just really deep. It's like you can't win for fucking losing. He's sitting here trying to report, and he's still getting shown the injustice and the racial injustice that.
And the funny shit is,
George Floyd.
They had no idea.
Countless others.
Yeah. They had no idea what they was doing when they arrested him. I watched the video. They're standing there. They're confused about what they're supposed to do. The camera's still on. He said everything he was supposed to say. They left the camera on. They transported him with the camera running. Like, they got CNN has the whole ride and then some. Like, it was like all of it was sloppy. They had no idea what they was doing, and they shouldn't have done it in the first place. They had the right to be there. And that's the thing. Like, that's what makes me nervous. When I started seeing that they was locking up the press, I'm like, well, we can't get no coverage now?
Right.
What y'all trying to do? What are y'all hiding that? Like, CNN can't be there. Like, if anybody could be there, CNN could be there, right?
Right.
Like,
it was interesting also to see, like, the mayor's response versus the governor's response. They were completely I received 2 different messages.
absolutely.
And
that's why
even the president's response. I feel like it's important for leadership to take that role and lead at this time. And obviously we know they don't have that responsibility. They don't even possess the ability to do that in a time like this.
That's why his response was to side with the governor.
Right.
He said that the mayor was weak and that he talked to the governor.
Right.
He laid out exactly what side he was on, and he always does that.
Exactly.
And he started the statement with saying these thugs are dishonoring, and then tried to piggyback by saying, when I said shooting, I was talking about like what just happened, because that's going to happen. That's just what happens. Like, no, you gave another fucking dog whistle, you dickhead. You know what I'm saying? And from what we're seeing and what we've been saying for years, motherfuckers ain't for it no more. Like, it ain't sweet. Like, y'all giving us the little bit of rights y'all giving us, quite a bit of us have taken advantage of. And are prepared to motherfucker. That's what they was preparing for. Like, there's a large part of our community, which I'm sure that they don't realize, we don't buy guns in fucking stores to kill each other.
Right.
We buy guns in stores in case one of you motherfuckers breach my perimeter.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Period. When you want to kill somebody in the streets, when you're a criminal, you don't legally purchase weapons.
Right.
So if you're looking at the numbers and you see what it is, then know that they buying them because you motherfuckers don't know how to respect somebody's space and privacy. Period.
That's absolutely true. You know, I just told you yesterday. I think it was yesterday or maybe last week, because I bought it a week ago. But I told you I suited up and, you know, got my firearm, and with the sole purpose and intent to protect my family. Like,
shout out to Hustle
my property,
Jones
to protect myself.
I was on FaceTime with Hustle Jones in Vegas last night. He's showing me like, yeah, I just got this. It's another joint. I get it tomorrow. I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? And he explaining it to me like, my man, you ain't got to explain this shit to me. I understand. Like, I know what time it is. And I understand, like, what they don't understand is you don't keep pushing anything or anybody into a fucking corner, because nobody's just going to keep willingly going into that corner.
Right.
They're going to lash out. They're going to make sure you don't put them in a position to be boxed in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It ain't even no cat shit. It's like, no, we're not going that way at all. I know it's over there. And this is what it looks like. And I want to be clear that more than I want to rant, I definitely want to make sure that we remember George Floyd,
Absolutely.
who sparked the latest major outrage, but it was a domino effect in 1 week of multiple instances that we found out about. Within 2 weeks, it's 4 instances. A couple of them that were older that got out later, and then we had the Central Park lady calling the cops on a bird watcher, and that's something that I don't understand either. Like, how the fuck do y'all keep getting to do the most blatantly racist shit, and then the next day say, I apologize, I'm not a racist?
Clearly
How
you
the
are.
fuck do you say you're not a racist? You just screamed
Oh,
this
she
black
clearly
man
is.
18 times with the intention of getting him lynched. How the fuck do you
She
get
did it
to
with
say
intent
that
because
shit?
she told him what she was going to do before
Yeah.
she even made the call.
Which is blatant because she knew she was being recorded when she said it.
Right.
The same as the motherfucking officer that killed Floyd. You know that someone sees you and is taping this, that you don't have control over what they do with it, and you still
don't-
bold enough to know that nothing's going to fucking happen to you.
Right.
And I mean, these things are simple, man. I've done and wanted to do a lot of shit in my life. And I've done them based on the consequences. When I
Absolutely.
realized, yeah, if I want to be that guy, that's 20 years. I don't feel like doing that shit no more.
Yo, I live my entire life assessing the risk of every single move that I make.
Right.
Every single move.
You ain't got no choice, though. You ain't got no choice. You're a black woman in America.
Right. I'm
You ain't got no choice.
This is what Superwoman looks like. So,
It is, though.
you
It
know,
is.
But I really do. Like every single move that I make, I think about the
That and
potential
Angela
risks.
Davis. My bad.
The potential risks, and the reward.
Absolutely.
And that's not even with anything legal. It's just with my every move that I make.
I mean, but such is life. Like, we all have decisions to make every step of the way that we take. If you decide to go to the store, you decide which store, which way you want to go. You want to walk, you want to drive. You always have to decide, but what you decide based on is reality. It's based on risk reward, how you feel, what mood you're. It's based on
And experience,
variables and
for
experience.
sure.
Yeah, it's based on variables. Sometimes you'll be like, you know what, I could walk to that store, but I know this neighborhood. I'm gonna just drive there real quick, so I don't have to potentially go through some bullshit.
Right.
And a lot of the times that's from the cops.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But like, that's how everybody is supposed to live. And I mean, common sense ain't common, and most motherfuckers ain't gonna do what's right.
Right.
But at the same time, everybody has the right in this country to a fair trial, life, pursuit of happiness, or what the fuck, life, liberty, the pursuit of like.
Right.
So if you get a call because someone said that I passed them a $10 bill that was fake, and you come to see about that fraudulent bill, which I don't even understand why we dispatch police for shit like that in cities where other shit is going on at. Like, this ain't Mayberry.
Right.
But when as an officer, in my head, I'm thinking, this isn't even a really arrestable thing unless when I search him, he has a pocket full of counterfeits.
Exactly.
Because now I have to figure out who's manufacturing these counterfeits. This is a
Exactly.
federal thing.
Right.
So, if you've ever had a counterfeit before and passed one off, what you know is you lose, because it means that somebody got you. Now you got to pay double and lose, because you still don't want to burn somebody because you got burnt. That's not their fault. So damn, I gave you a fake 20, my bad. Hey, give me that joint back. I'm gonna find out where I got it from. Here go to 20. You already gave up a 20. You fuck around, never get nothing back from this other 20.
Right.
And then you don't even want to be that person passing it off, so you chalk it.
Right.
You lose. So I'm already going to lose.
Right.
There's no reason for me to go to jail for that. You see what I'm saying? But to die for $10, the same way that a motherfucker that died selling a pack of cigarettes,
Right.
you died for the price of a pack of fucking cigarettes, is phenomenal to me. Like, in all the worst ways. Like, I don't understand that shit at all. And I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. When you're in our community, you see certain people, especially in a position of power, when they have a certain smirk on their face, a certain look, a certain tone when they deal with you, you know who they are and what they into. And as soon as I seen how he was handling that shit, when he was squeezing the life out of this man and had that cocky ass look on his face with his hand in his fucking pocket, it's like, this is the same motherfucker in every city. They everywhere. The Klan has gotten motherfuckers infiltrated throughout this whole shit, and then a whole bunch of I feel like guys that grew up drinking Mountain Dew and ain't got no more extreme shit to do.
It's bigger than the Klan. I feel like it's just a bunch of ignorant people. It's just a bunch of, and it's ignorance to its greatest ability. Like,
well, they don't pay them. Like, cops don't make a lot of money.
But I'm just saying.
So you don't get smart people to go get shot at for that amount of money. Like, and I'm not trying to disrespect police officers, but like,
in every city, we made up not only of the Ku Klux Klan, but we're made up of
idiots.
Ignorance,
yeah.
And people who don't understand, don't have human fucking feelings and fucking emotions, and don't fucking care. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like it's greater than the Ku Klux Klan. Like,
no, I know it's greater than the Klan, and I know it's a lot of other factions. I mean, the whole racism in this country is systematic, which means there's a billion moving parts to it.
Right.
There's laws on the books. There's all kind of, like, what the public has to realize is the reason that these officers are never going to jail for these crimes is because the laws state that they can't. Like, it's already on the books that if you're charged with this as an officer, then there's this little gray area that you could lean on called, I was in fear of my life, or shit like that. You know what I mean? And it works every time because it's worded that way intentionally, because the whole police thing was made to capture slaves.
Right, but my whole thing is, in this instance, we know crazy things happen, but there's no way
It's not 9 minutes worth of crazy shit.
that he was afraid of his life. That he feared for his life.
Fuck no.
The officer.
Fuck no. Fuck no. But see, and this is the other thing though, accountability. This blue wall of silence. You have 4 fucking officers and 1 man on his stomach in cuffs that's not moving and not being irate. What the fuck is the problem? And what this was this
The problem
this
was the color of his skin. That was the
watching
problem.
him and a few other people who have laid the fuck down and followed orders and still wound up dead. I feel like you better off bucking. Because at least if I buck, especially at his size, y'all gonna fuck me up.
Right.
I'm gonna probably go to jail, but I might fucking live and be able to call my peoples one more time and talk to them and shit, or get bail or something, because my homie's in the NBA and he gonna get me the fuck out of there for a little bit while we figure this out. Like, I got options if I fight y'all. If I let y'all put me in a position like that, I'm gonna just have the world watch me die, including my children, my grandmother, whoever the fuck I have left, whoever survives me. Like, it don't seem like cooperating works. Everybody's been saying just cooperate. Just cooperate. If black people cooperated. Cooperating makes you an easier target. And it's like, I don't want to tell people to buck because that's not safe. But in this instance, think about it.
You know,
9 minutes on my neck, you wouldn't have got 9 minutes on one part of my spine if I'm moving.
Right. You know, the thing about it's like you say cooperate. It's kind of like, like say somebody shooting at you, right? If you like cooperating to me is walking a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody shooting at you and walking a straight line, you're fucking hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, it's fucked up to say or to make that even analysis or correlation.
In our situation, it's always been like that though. It's always been like that. It's even the things that they're allowed to ask you and the things that they tell you when they supposedly trying to figure out what's going on in a routine traffic stop shouldn't even be allowed. You shouldn't be able to ask me where I'm going and where I'm coming from every fucking time I get pulled over.
Right.
Because I'm allowed to drive my car.
Right.
I'm allowed to get in my car and say, you know what? My wife is pissing me off. I'm going to ride the fucking Luther. And then when I snap out of my zone, I'll figure out where I'm at and I'll work my way back home. You have that right. We don't. But it's not illegal. It's literally not illegal. So you shouldn't be able to ask me that at all. You shouldn't be able to lie to me as if you know what's going to happen to me when you hand me over to the next branch. Stop telling motherfuckers it ain't that bad. You'll be in and out. It's not even that crowded. When the fuck have you ever sat in there?
Right.
Do you care if this person is claustrophobic, has a medical condition, has a kid that's about to get out of school when you locking them up for $10 worth of weed? Like, this shit don't make no fucking sense that you're able to just blatantly lie for your convenience to do your job to citizens.
Right.
Everybody's not a fucking criminal. A majority of the people in this country are not inherently criminal. Everybody's probably done something. But
Right.
some people's something is taking too many napkins. Some people's something was being young and still in a t-shirt.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Other people's something, they got crazy. They was gangbanging and all that. But some of them motherfuckers, just like Big Floyd, are trying to turn the neighborhoods around. So how do you take that from the people?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what make it fucking hurt so fucking much, man. It's like, the more I hear about this guy, the more they keep saying he was a good guy. I can't even find nobody to put dirt on him.
Right.
But yeah, like, like I said, I'm not okay. I'm fucking pissed. I want to say a lot of things sometimes that I realize aren't wise to say, but I feel them. And the fact that I feel them means that it's something. I'm not wrong. Like, I don't hate people. You know what I mean? I've gone through it with motherfuckers that I don't want to see certain shit happen to.
Right.
So I can't just hate a whole community of anybody based on some shit that, like, I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
But why
So what's
can
the
you
whole
just hate
community
me and
do you
kill
mean?
me? I mean,
What
like,
community are you referring to?
I can't hate
The
all
cops?
I can't hate all cops. I
Right.
can't hate all white people. I
Right.
can't, like, I don't know how. Like,
Right.
it's just, like, not in me to feel that way. Like,
Because I just want to speak to that, right? Because clearly I'm light skinned, I'm fair skinned. Clearly I'm mixed with something, right? And my husband is, I feel like damn near like lighter than me, right? And every single
Y'all light.
statement that he makes is, yeah, because white people this, yeah, because the white people, and I'm like, can you stop using that language? Like, because if it's, oh yeah, because we're gonna save money like the white people, like,
yeah,
No.
that's toxic.
you know, or because, you know, they all fucking hate us because of the white people. I'm like, all right, so listen, dog, we're going to have this conversation, okay? This is the conversation we're going to have, all right? I'm going to let you know that my grandmother was fucking white, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know my grandma was white till after she died.
But she was
Because
white.
she was so real.
Right.
But she was born in Europe. And my whole thing is that would be hating a part of myself.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. Like you said, it's something you can't do. I'm not saying that. Shit, it's black people that done did me fucked up. Like, so can I hate anybody on a basis of just their skin? Like, no. But
It's
you
fucking
sound really
crazy.
ignorant. I just had to show him how he sounds ignorant. It doesn't have to be like any person of color, like whatever color it can be. It can be because we want to be wealthy or because it's whatever. It doesn't have to be attributed to any race of people. I think that's ignorant in itself. To generalize people that way. So I just want to
Absolutely.
take a moment to just say, like, we all, and even like we're all mixed with something. Even white people, yeah, y'all got African, y'all got us in you too.
Y'all got some
You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
Mhm.
So my whole thing is just people just need to understand that and just stop being so hateful and negative and.
But it's a power dynamic. If you get everybody on the bottom to beef over bullshit, then ain't nobody paying attention to what you're doing at the top. Nobody could get there. Like, you get motherfuckers to keep each other from there. Like, it's a lot of benefit to keeping people at each other's throats.
To who though? I mean,
To the
Right.
percentage that
but it's not beneficial. It's detrimental.
to the whole community and society, yeah.
So
But if you don't have to, like, it's one of them things where it's like, yo, the community pool, they ain't never clean that shit. It got branches and all of that. They ain't fix the chlorine. And you like, I don't give a fuck. I got my own pool. Why I care about that pool when I could just go out back? I don't have to be there. I don't have to look at that shit. I don't have to drive
Exactly.
past that motherfucker. What's the name did when Katrina had flybys? Just fly right over.
literal flybys.
Yeah, I see y'all. Word. You know what you see from a fucking airplane? Baseball
bird's view.
fields. You see a bunch of baseball fields and fucking water. You don't see shit. You're not with nobody. You don't have to deal with that shit. Everything's an ant. And that's what it is. That's their perspective. We're all ants, man. If you're the 1%, that means 99% of this great country
It's
can't
not
fuck
on the
with
same,
you.
Exactly. Not even on the same level as you. Or
Can't fuck with you.
Regardless of what it means, it just means that 99% of people are not like you. You do not fit in that same boat. You're one of these kids that's doing their own thing. Do that one.
One of these kids is. I just watched the Epstein doc, and the shit is phenomenal that he got away with. And when I say got away with, like, it's so much shit. It's like so many people involved. It's so big. It ran for so long, and it all starts with him lying on a resume. Like, everything starts with, I graduated from these universities, and he only did 2 years of college. Then he got a job based on that. They found out, got mad, wanted to get rid of him. He said, but I really wanted this job, and I knew I wouldn't have this opportunity, and turned on the charm, and they kept him and referred him to a fucking stock market job. And then he stole money from them motherfuckers after they made him a partner. They fired him. Somebody else picks him up because they found out he was shady and they needed help with a Ponzi scheme.
Right.
He did them dirty, robbed another billionaire for $46 million that he knows of, after getting his percentage of brokering
That he knows of.
$1.3 billion
That is the
worth of
point.
deals for the limited. Like, this motherfucker is literally a con artist that conned his way into billions with less education than me and you. Formidable education.
Right.
And when you think about the fact that that allowed him to rape, molest, transport hundreds of young women. Hundreds. It ain't like a lot of people think it's like, hey, they once in a while they no, like niggas was giving each other 3 12-year-olds for your birthday. Here, that's for you. And it was common knowledge amongst those that know, like he do this shit right in front of you on the plane. And it's like, I can't fucking jaywalk without the possibility of getting killed.
Right.
And this motherfucker was able to run everything knowing that he was filthy because he had leverage on everybody else. But he wasn't even like there's a million threads on this sweater that could have got pulled. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, when you really think about it, like, could you have conned yourself to billions without somebody blowing a whistle on you?
I mean, not even without somebody blowing the whistle, my
You done went to
conscience
jail
wouldn't
for
allow me to
taxes.
do it. Fuck that. My conscience wouldn't allow me to do it, for sure.
No, I mean, and that's the thing too. Like, when you realize how much he had, it's like what they call it. It's probably, I guess it's like sinful. It's like nobody needs that.
Gluttony.
Yeah, it's so much. Like, nobody needs that much. Like, nobody
Because
needs
the shit
that
he
much.
did was more than sinful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the amount of wealth.
Is it a word to say luciferious? Is that a fucking word?
Luciferious? Like a Lucifer term?
Yes.
I don't know, but you could coin it.
Listen.
All you gotta do is make it a hashtag.
Listen.
Make it a hashtag, you good.
TM circle. That's me.
we go put it on the motherfucking screen for y'all, so y'all recognize it when y'all see it. We
For
try to
real,
act like
but
it.
that was how I could.
No, that shit is amazing, yo. I still, and mind you, I just watched it. I still haven't completely wrapped my head around that shit.
I mean, that shit seems fucking horrible. Not the documentary itself, but the story is fucking.
But
horrid,
when I first saw it, the first thing I thought was, all I'm thinking about the situations at hand is motherfuckers in positions of power that get away with murder. I really wasn't in the mood to watch another white man get away with murder. And then after watching a week of what I've been watching,
right,
he was my distraction. Like, fuck it, might as well watch this motherfucker and figure out what this is about. Plus, I like to be informed on shit like that because most of us don't really do the due diligence to see what's out there, and we just look at the preview or the titles of the headlines and shit. And I learned a fucking lot.
right.
I wish I knew that I only had to do 2 years of college to be a billionaire, yo.
Shit's crazy. It's not what you know, it's who you know, though.
Clearly is who you know, and which we know. But he was a professor. They was calling him a professor with 2 years worth of college education, yo.
My bad. I ain't mean it. That was a goddamn reflex.
Then he was
Sorry.
in charge of people's huge money.
Yeah, I know.
Huge money. With 2 years of college? Who typed his resume?
That's some shit I probably did.
He probably. It's all Saf's fault. She was 9 years old. She didn't know no better.
Listen, you know, I've been good with the grammar for a minute. But, no, so one thing I wanted to get back to.
Yeah, let's get back to the shits.
What I wanted to know, so with me, right?
I don't like it.
If you're not a part, if you're not a part of the problem, though, you're part.
If you're not a part of the solution.
You're part of the problem, right?
Mhm.
So what is the solution to this? What is the solution?
The problem is,
Yeah, let's
Part of-
identify the problem.
part of the solution is what's going on right now. You have to do more than just march and cut off highways. You gotta fuck shit up sometimes. Like, you have to. There's never been a change in this country without fucking violence. Boston Tea Party celebrated, like, to the winners write the history books. Like, you gotta go hard for what the fuck you want to do and what you want changed in this country always. There's never been a time where this country has even atoned for slavery without even discussing reparations.
Right.
They've never admitted wrong in that situation, where we have countries in Africa that have done so. So how are we the
And
greater?
we have given reparations to countries in which we have done no wrong to. Like,
And we've
what the
given, and they've given reparations to every other community that's ever
fuck?
been
Can't say
done
done
wrong.
no wrong to, but aren't as entitled to it as I believe the Africans are and African Americans.
Well, I mean, that's, yeah, but like, everybody's been compensated. Jews been compensated. Native, I don't even like calling them Native Americans because that's a horrible name for them.
Right.
How am I native to America
I
if
believe
it's
even
not
Pacific
America?
Islanders, like natives to Hawaii, like a lot of places have been given reparations.
So it's like, but not even that part. Like, just the admittance. Like, you understand that
Just the
so much
acknowledgement
shit
of- just the
changes once the
acknowledgement of guilt.
acknowledgement happens.
Mhm.
It's so easier to come to the table once we're all on the same page. But when you got a bunch of people that's ignoring it, trying to make it go away, trying to make sure that they don't get accused for being a part of it, or they don't feel like they had something to do with, like, it's not like this pride shit is crazy. And a lot of it is still just being racist and trying to keep motherfuckers down. You know what happens once you say, oh shit, my bad, we fucked up, we should have never did that shit, y'all community definitely helped build this country. You know what happens
Absolutely.
after that. Even if y'all don't do it, it happens organically anyway. The elevation starts. You see what I'm saying? It's going to happen organically. There's always somewhere to start. You don't have a foundation without the first brick. Like, but they haven't laid the first brick, and it's been a long fucking time.
Right.
A long fucking time. So, like, that's why I don't even like to get into reparations, because I had a conversation, shout out to Shauna, the other day. And
Shauna, you
we
went
was,
to school with?
yeah.
All right. Shout out to Shauna.
And we was talking about what was going on, I think based on one of my posts on the book. And we was going back and forth about what's important, what does reparations look like, and all of that. And a common point that I kept coming to her with is, you ask 10 people what reparations look like, you get 9 different answers.
Right.
And there's a large percentage of people that you just saw a month ago saying, well, damn, they just gave everybody $1,200. They could have gave us reparations.
Right. Right.
Not realizing that, like, you undervaluing the fuck out of what you're owed.
Right.
So if they had an opportunity
If we supposed to get 40 acres and a mule,
back
what the
then,
fuck is 1,200? Exactly.
back then, and been able to create generational wealth based on that,
Absolutely.
are you crazy? But if they went to society and they did a vote, made an app, said, if we gave you $2,500 for reparations, would you be okay with it? At least 30% people would say yes. And not out of necessity. Just because they feel like
It was the acknowledgement of guilt.
it's fine. It's cool. And I mean, they might even lie just to take the check. But they'll take it. And once they take it, our leverage is gone. Because how the fuck is you going to get your $2 million when he took $3,000?
No, I want what's going to establish again generational wealth, the
Generational wealth.
legacy. I built this.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, and there's a lot of ways to do it, and we discussed a couple ways, and it led to a conversation. That is part of the reason I brought this up. That I want to tell you was like, we need to figure out. We want to have a panel, a round table, or something, and let's go over some things and let's figure out to answer your question, what some solutions are, what the solutions are, what the proper procedure is. Let's try to come up with a cohesive list or figure out who to reach out to gain one, and who our leaders are, identify those people and make them aware of what we're trying to accomplish. I said now it'll be touchy because it's a lot of opinions and emotions attached to the subject, and you'll have a bunch of intelligent people, I'm sure, discussing those that have a lot of emotions in their shit. But if we have a decent moderator, we'll get through it. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, she suggested you.
Oh, wow.
She said, what about Saf? I'm like, huh?
Wow.
She's like, no, because I know
Saf
Saf be doing all that type stuff, and y'all be doing stuff. Like, what about Saf? And I'm like, the crazy thing is, Saf might work.
That
But
shout out to her for even thinking
it's something that I want to try to figure out. It's something that one way or another is going to get put together no matter who's involved. But part of it was the identifying our leaders part.
Yep.
And I had named a few people. I named David Banners. I named Trader Truths. I named Charlemagne. She kind of went off when I said Charlemagne.
I even like Killer Mike.
Killer Mike. She kind of went off when I said Charlemagne. I named him when I said Charlemagne. And I'm like, don't get mad because you don't like the person.
What is a leader? Exactly. What is the definition of a leader?
See, now, what's happening with Charlemagne is with his position in media, the way that he's set up right now, the politicians that want to talk to black people have to talk to Charlemagne. Since that has become the situation and he's connected, he's taking his directive from Farrakhan's, you know what I mean, from Banners, from Killer Mike's, from what's my man with the Weather Channel? Like
Byron Allen.
Van.
Oh, Van?
Van Jones?
Van Jones?
Was it Van Jones or Byron? Anyway, he like these people are the people that's calling his phone and telling him what questions to ask.
Right.
What conversations to have with these important people, which is important.
Right.
Because at the same time that in a time of no social media and none of that shit, Martin Luther King could reach so many motherfucking people. The Breakfast Club is broadcast in over 100 different fucking countries.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So,
and that's what I was getting to, the definition of a leader too, because it's important to understand that for me, one factor of a leader is someone who has an audience or someone who will listen to what they say and follow them. And
that's the thing. He's not putting himself in a position where he's trying to dictate. He's taking directive.
He has a platform. He's
taking
creating a
platform. Utilizing his platform.
Absolutely.
And he'll refer to where he got his information from. He'll refer to where he got his questions from. But if you noticed, ever since it's been that Hillary thing, or probably right before that, he's been asking the same fucking questions because he has a script now. And because this is what makes sense, this is what matters, the rest of that shit don't matter. Now, he's going to Charlemagne around that shit, but he has 3 to 5 questions he asks every single one of them. And number one is, what is your black agenda?
Right.
What are you going to do specifically for my community? I don't want to hear about rising tides lift boats. That's bullshit. What are you going to do to put us in a position where we can also create generational wealth?
Absolutely.
He asks these things for a reason. He's putting it into the psyche of the American people, the common people. He's making sure that these politicians know that it's an issue. Just like we saw Bernie run 4 years ago on a certain platform. And he said when he lost, he said, a lot of my issues that I brought up have become part of other people's platforms, so I can't call it a loss.
Right.
This time around, damn near all his shit is on everybody's platform.
Right.
4 years later. It don't take much. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much. And even if you look at it in relation to what happened with George Floyd, like I just said earlier, the media reaction, the reaction of these mayors and these politicians and these police chiefs around the country are drastically different than what we've seen before in these same situations.
Right.
Drastically.
Yeah. Do you think it's also because of the diversity of maybe the staff of the media now? I
think that's some of it, but a lot of them haven't switched much up as far as lead personnel. The people that's always on the scene is always on the scene for them.
Sure.
But it's one of those things where what side of history do you want to be on after a while? Like, you can't just keep denying something and think that that's going to be okay. And your competition is a whole bunch of people that can tell the truth from their own platforms now.
Right.
You got 1 billion motherfuckers with podcasts. You got a bunch of motherfuckers with cell phones, Instagram. Yeah. And if I want to see, like, and that's what's crazy. I watched
Byron Allen.
Thank you. I watched this little girl live for 3 hours one night that was in Minnesota Minneapolis, the first night that they started burning everything. And she was on the ground directly across the street from one of the biggest fires they were showing. But she was telling exactly what was going on out there. You could hear her friends' reaction. You could feel the emotion. You could feel the climate. And I'd rather get my news from that than from somebody that's spinning an agenda because it's election season. So it's like that's their competition. Their competition is literally this little girl that nobody knew of that had 46,000 people on her Instagram live that night because she been on that shit all day. And everybody on her phone, on her friends' phones, is calling saying, come home. Be careful. You need to come home. Her brother's trying to go pick her up. She's saying she ain't ate all day. She ain't used the restroom, like, you know, and she's just out there trying to capture it and make sure people see what's going on. And she's upset because she's watching her city burn. And it's just a lot of emotion. And it's like, I'd rather see that, even though it's painful to watch in a lot of regards, just because you hear what she's going through. But in a lot of ways, I know it's necessary.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't want to spend on that. I want to see what that is. I want to feel what that means so that I know how I'm talking to y'all about this shit. Like, yo, you might need to, that COVID shit, we really going to stay in the house. Matter of fact, we going to stay in the same crib.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? We just going to bunker this shit out. Like, what is we doing?
Right.
Like, I need to know what time it is, and I'm never going to get that truly from a CNN or MSNBC. So now you at least have to be honest.
Absolutely.
You at least have to be partially honest. You have to say all the words they allow you to say now. No more spins. And I've been hearing it. I've heard motherfuckers go right after somebody that says all the right shit and say all the safe words and all of the I'm not gonna agree to this shit words, and it's we can notice the difference.
It's interesting too if you were in different channels, because we were just talking about that too yesterday at my
networks.
house. Like when you're on two different, like you get two completely different messages on two different channels.
I've only been watching CNN and MSNBC.
I was watching CNN too, but for that purpose, I showed the difference between
CNN and Fox.
Exactly. You know
It's
what I
Fox.
mean?
It's fucking Fox. That's why I refuse to watch Fox. I'm not going over there. I don't want to. That shit frustrates me. I like Trevor Noah, and he was speaking about what's going on one night, and within 2 minutes of him explaining his perspective, he was burning me up too. And it's like, it's just because, like, I don't really give a fuck about how outsiders feel. And even though he's one of us, he still has a perspective of coming from one of those countries that has fucking apologized. Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
But I was also about to say, just the fact that he's not, I definitely appreciate his opinion, and, you know, he's one of us, but at the same time, you're not an American, so you don't necessarily, or you might be now, but you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he has to live the experience now, but his perspective, as always, which is a perspective I usually value because of his difference, and because he's a kid that had to grow up in the house because it was illegal for him to be alive in his country. Like, I understand all of that shit.
Right.
But right now, I don't want you judging those people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't care how tactfully you say it. I don't care how empathetic you sound when you fucking say it.
Right.
You sound just as bad as anybody else that doesn't get it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And he's been in a position of, and it's like what you said earlier. He has been in a bad position. It was illegal for him to be alive. They had to hide him when he was a kid. But it's kind of like the slavery thing, whereas he didn't know nothing else. He didn't know any other options. It's not like walking around this motherfucker every day and having to know when my son go play fucking basketball, he doesn't have to do anything wrong to die. It don't make sense.
I mean, we've been seeing it. You and I think you and I were even watching it. I think we watched a video YouTube a couple months ago when it was like a little girl in like a school, and the way that the police officer was like gripping up her, handling her, and like, I think he hit her and just hit her against the ground.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing is like, it's even at the elementary school level.
And they passed that law that you're not supposed to be able to arrest kids no more, and they still doing it.
Yeah. So our children are just being exposed to this behavior and this treatment toward them and our community as a whole at a very young age. So It's already instilling that idea of hatred.
And you know what, though? I want to salute the youth because they led a lot of this shit that's going on right now. They out there frontlining. And that Baltimore shit, they started that shit.
Right, and a lot of it, and not only just this issue, I know we're talking about this, but a lot of the different issues, the youth have been on the forefront.
They have been, and they ain't had no choice.
From Parkland to climate control to climate change.
Because it's happening to them, and they know it from a grassroots. That's like when we grew up, everybody smoked cigarettes, cigars, pipes, whatever the fuck. It was clouds everywhere we went. Mm-hmm. When I was in elementary school, I knew cigarettes was bad. Mm-hmm. I was telling everybody in my family, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes.
Right.
They didn't even understand why.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens. They come from a generation that sees the effects of what's been left to them. Right. And they like, well, what the fuck can we do to make sure that we live to be 30? Because if y'all fuck the whole planet up, and y'all kill every fucking body and lock everybody up, like, what do we have to look forward to when we already know that you probably never gonna be able to work a job for 30 years and retire from it because they doing everybody filthy any fucking way. There's no loyalty in employment, right? You can work 2-3 jobs and still fucking struggle to make ends meet. What do they have to look forward to?
They don't have pensions. So
what they have to look forward to? Everything's super high.
The purpose
Education
somebody would have
is
stayed
high.
somewhere for 30 years would have, that for me, that would have been a benefit and incentive for me to stay somewhere for 30 years. But if I'm not going to be locked in and know I'm getting a guaranteed payment that you're going to play with my money and I might not have nothing by the time I leave here or retire, like.
But pensions don't need to exist anymore because what they was based on don't exist anymore. When you get 15, 20 years into a company, they tell you we can hire 3 people to do what you do, and will we pay you to do what you do? So they hire somebody younger and they pay them a third of what the fuck they pay you. And then you wind up at an older age.
I feel like that's in every industry. I feel like that's with innovation, and I feel like that's in every industry.
But that's
I don't
why
feel like that's the way to handle it, though. I feel like you still.
There used to be a thing called seniority.
Yep.
All right, let's get to it. You ready?
What the fuck? Yeah.
So we still in this bitch, and we happen to be filming on Saturday, which is the first day of the Philadelphia protest for the most recent happenings in our community. I don't want to just say the Floyd situation because it's bigger than that. But while we were filming and conversating, we're getting alerts, phone calls, and the news is on. And we're seeing that right now, Philly is popping. And not the way it usually is. Downtown around City Hall, which is what we're looking at right now, there's a couple thousand people, it look like. Brand new graffiti on the walls. I saw them showing Vine Street right by my alma mater, Roman Catholic, where there was a lot going on, a lot of pushing and shoving with the police. I also got word from Kay that there's 5 cop cars, state trooper cars on fire right now. Currently, we're watching a big crowd of people in front of City Hall that are throwing things at the police.
Smoke in the air. There's something going on.
It's a line of police barricading the entrance, and there's a whole lot of people in front of them with their hands up, and then there's also things flying at the police. Now everybody's starting to run. So they must have sprayed it.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
I'm pretty sure that was a good tear gas mace situation.
Something happened.
But the problem is when you have large crowds, the people affected go to the back, the people not go to the front. You don't disperse a crowd completely that way, that easily. And that's just from experience of being in all type of shit. And when it's about justice, the people in the back, the people got hurt, go to the back, the other people move to the front. Like, we out here for a reason, and we not going to die from you spraying us, hopefully. So I'm going to stay the fuck out here, and hopefully somebody has an extra t-shirt for me. So that's the worst part. That should still be on your clothes.
Why is that person pushing the cops further and further? And do you see that one person
with the hat?
He or she keep pushing the officers up and up to actually push the crowd of people, like engaging them.
One of the officers, somebody threw something. One of the officers went and picked it up, and the captain just grabbed him. It looked like he was about to throw it back. What the hell are y'all doing? It's very tense in my city right now. I know I'm laughing at certain things, but this is a serious situation, and this could go bad. We are also a city that suffers from a lot of bullshit from our police. and a lot of injustice. And at a young age, I lost a friend at the hands of the police, and he told a lie that nobody fucking believed, and nothing happened to him. So this isn't a new thing. This isn't a. I've seen it referred to. I seen somebody earlier say, "Damn, my city be dick eating so much. What the fuck is we protesting?" And I'm just like, what type of nigga is you?
Who are
like,
you? Who are you?
Like, I don't even understand. And I ain't gonna put his name out there because I got a lot of love for him. But that was dangerous rhetoric that I saw. And that's another thing. I'd rather you not say nothing. I mean, I don't really want you to not say anything, but I'd rather you not say nothing than to keep trying to get attention from saying bullshit when this is a serious situation. People have lost their lives to cause this. A lot of people have been injured. A couple people have lost their lives during this.
Right.
Like, this isn't one of those things that you wanting to discredit the fact that you don't want to be involved and you don't want to help, that you make fun of. Sometimes you just got to fall the fuck back or do some research, learn something, do what we're doing right now and actually watch what's going on instead of reading what everybody else is typing about what happened. See it for yourself. Reach out to your people. Hopefully you have somebody that's motivated enough to really be out here on the ground level or to be helping a situation or funding situations and seeking legal aid for these people that's going to need it. Like, find out what the fuck is going on, man, because your jokes ain't the fuck popping right now.
Yeah.
And don't nobody care how fucking cute you is neither. It's different times right now.
Yeah. So.
They rumbling.
They are definitely.
He snatched the bike.
Now. So I think it's just, I think it's very important for us to protest. But something I was saying before is, what are we going to do after the protest? How long are we going to protest? Because if we only do it for this 1 day or 2 days, it's going to me, I feel like it's going to be all forgotten, and the same people are going to be doing the same thing over and over again. Like you were speaking about before, some of the solutions to the issue.
No, and that's what I was speaking to with being a part of this. We're going to help figure. We are going to make our strongest attempt at trying to help us all figure this shit out. Me, Saf, we're going to figure this out with people that we know that have sense, have access, have opinions, have followings, even that they're already organizing for things like this. Like this, this stuff don't just pop up. Y'all see it when somebody gets killed. These organizations exist 365 days a year. And I'm going to talk to some of these people and figure out how we can help them. Even if they're not a part of the initial unit, we'll put a unit together and assist them. It's not a problem. It's what we was trained and raised to do. I can speak for both of us when I say that. And on some real shit, it's kind of painful to not really be out there, to be honest.
Right.
Like, it's not, I'm not one of them people that's against any of it. I probably wouldn't be in the front pushing the police because I done had too many fucking encounters with them that I don't need no more unnecessary shit to happen. But if it gotta be what it gotta be, it gotta be. Now, as far as how long do we protest, we need results, and that's why Minneapolis got fucked up. Like, let's not take blame away from what happened. They fired the police immediately. That branch of people did their job. Then it was time for those officers to be charged, and nothing happened. Then the governor came out and said that he didn't see any reason to charge them. Then y'all take more days to finally arrest him, and when y'all arrest him, it's not officially an arrest. It's he's in custody, but we don't know why type of thing. Like, for all we know, it could have been protective.
Right.
So you still not settling people yet, and then you release charges, and the charges you release are fucking whack.
Right.
So that's what determines how long protests last. Because when you do certain things, when you nip it in the bud, you charge the officer, you arrest the officer, you start the proceedings, you prove that you have valuable people that are going to take time to get to the bottom of what happened, right? That buys you time to do so. When you wait to do that, people start trying to force the issue, and that's what's happening. And like I said, man, we all want to sit at the table and have a conversation with the powers that be and figure shit out. And I know that there's tables that they keep talking about are set up to do so. But sometimes the motherfuckers on the bottom got to light a fire to make a little more expeditiously at the top.
Right. So let me ask you this. So when you have a business or an establishment that is in a way, say for instance, is even a black-owned business, it just happens to be
Which has
in
happened
the way.
through this.
Do you feel like they're casualties of war?
I don't like to say that because I come from a black business. I don't want to ever just blatantly call someone a casualty of war.
No, I'm just saying.
But I mean, technically, yes. And that was what was interesting about Minneapolis. It was a immigrant that had a restaurant out there, and they were surveying what the damage was done the night before to his restaurant. His restaurant was pretty bad, and he said, yes, I lost a lot. Hopefully, I think we'll be able as a community to fix these things and make them better than they were before. He said, but let my building burn. Arrest those cops.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing. It's like, I know a lot of people won't be able to recover from that, and that's sad, and that's why I want to be a part of solutions. Mm-hmm. Those are one of the things that we need to provide solutions for. Absolutely. Is to figure out how to lend aid to people that have been casualties of this war unjustly. But at the same time, I got to believe if my dad's barbershop went up at a time when they was at the peak of what they had going on, and it was for the greater good of the situation, he would have been resilient enough to try to use his resources and the love that he had from the community to try to make it happen again. And if not, he'd have figured something else out. And I'm not saying everybody has that option, but just to be realistic, sometimes, man, shit happens. Mm-hmm. And your building could have caught fire because of anything the fuck else.
Right.
And right now, I'm gonna be honest, ain't they closing all the stores anyway?
Right.
Half the stores getting looted was about to get swiped out.
Might did him a favor.
Pardon me, online. Like, come
right.
on, man. We're at a time where nobody's went to the mall in fucking 3 months.
Right.
In Atlanta, they tore the Dior. They ain't shit left in Dior. Whew. They tore the mall up. Christian Dior.
Oh, wow.
No, it's real out here, man.
That's crazy.
They tore the CNN building up.
So I'm just also
not tore it up, but they acted crazy at it.
Right. I'm just going back to a point that we made earlier in the conversation of generalizing people, right, by race or, in this instance, occupation, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying by any means. Like, I definitely think that we witnessed a murder on camera, right, in regards to George Floyd. But I'm just seeing the actions, right? And I got a cousin that's a cop. They getting all kinds of stuff thrown at them. Look like milkshakes and people kicking trash cans on them. And they doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, damn, like.
I ain't gonna lie, though. When you stand in
solidarity that's what I was about
with
to say.
That uniform and the bullshit that comes along with it, and I hate to say it, it's like, and I hear all the time, because every once in a while I'll post some shit like, so where are the good cops? Are they actually saying, and once in a while somebody say, I know a cop that did. But they'll never tell me the outcome of that shit. Mm-hmm. How that went for them. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the fucking problem. They're not allowed to talk. So now, since you're not allowed to talk and the repercussions is too great, now you got to stand out there in solidarity with the bullshit. Because you've been a party too.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Not saying that you're a bad cop, but if you're in a position where you have to witness shit, know that shit is going on, know that this shit is not just to your community, you can hop on my Facebook post and tell me that. And this is something that I understand. I saw somebody say today, I am a part of a black and a blue community, and I'm too black for the blue community and too blue for the black community. I don't fit in anywhere, and I want to be one of the people that starts the change that I want to see, right? It's a horrible fucking position to be in, yo. But also, I might just start putting out applications and resumes anyway, because people have left jobs for worse, yo. Don't be out here getting killed over racists, yo. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it. Unless you can really provide change, do not put yourself in harm's way to the point where when you try to do the right thing, they make it look like something accidentally happened to you.
Right.
That's not cool. But it's fucking scary. It's fucking scary.
Yeah, I just feel for my children. I feel for us as a community.
Shit is sickening, man. Po, pull the news up in there for me. I want to see something. But yeah, like, it's a lot that we've learned this year, and that's something I thought about when you said about a couple days of protesting and people forget about it and go back to whatever. We ain't gonna forget now. One step of 2020, yo. This 2020
Not us
shit.
forgetting. I'm talking about the people who are in a position to make any change or even in a position of power. Like,
Well, it has to matter. It has to matter. It's like everything that we do. When we decide we have an idea and we want to try to make something happen, the first thing we have to do after having an idea is make it a thing.
absolutely execute.
And part of making a thing in this instance is fucking shit up, yo. It is. And I'm going to say it. Like, I'm not scared to say it. I understand this more than Kumbaya. Trust me. It fits my temperament better. Like, I don't understand just keep getting my ass whooped because I want you to understand that I don't want to get my ass whooped. Like, no. I'm going to whoop your fucking ass.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I don't understand how you get through that. That's probably why I never joined a fraternity. Like, you're not going to fuck me up so I can be accepted. And there's no disrespect to fraternities, but that was just my mindset. It's like, I got to cut y'all a check to whoop my ass to be down,
Right.
to be part of a network.
Right.
Now, if I get arrested a year out of college, that network, I ain't going to get the jobs I was like, yo.
Right.
And not that they run side by side, but you got to understand, as a young man, I think, and I don't want to get too far off topic, I think sororities work better in our community than fraternities do from my perspective.
Okay.
Because it's hard as a man at 19, 20 years old to just accept a whole bunch of men from every type of walk of life that I really don't have no background on and vouch for everything that goes on while I'm around them.
Okay.
That's very difficult for
Why do
me.
you think it's easier for females?
I think it's more necessary for females. I actually think it's harder for females. I think that brotherhood thing is like, guys grow up with all that bruh shit. You know what I mean? With women, it's beautiful because a lot of women that might have been in competition with each other have a reason to support each other.
Right.
And I see a lot of beauty and I see beauty come out of both of them. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just talking about transitionally as a young man that come from the environment that I come from. That know I might have to run around the country with y'all. And if somebody start whooping my ass, half you motherfuckers gonna watch.
Exactly.
Whereas I could have homies that I just met on campus and genuinely got along with. And not because they gangsters or anything, but because we have the same perspective on life.
Exactly.
I'm safe when I travel with them.
Right.
And I've been in situations because I got squad that's in fraternities. And shit has happened at step shows and all type of shit.
Right.
And when motherfuckers was on hills, the fraternity was behind us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And a lot of them was like, what are y'all doing? Yo, chill. We was frontlining for him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's scary to me. If I get my ass whooped with you, we together for life, for real. Like, we going to take all the rest of these ass whoopings together. I'm not watching you take one ever.
Right.
Ever. So, like, that fucks me up. And I don't want to get too off topic, but I do think it's a beautiful setup. It just didn't match my mentality. Like, the way that I feel about life in general. And I'm going to get kicked back, but I love all my frat niggas, man. Any nigga I'm cool with is cool because he a good dude. Not because of what he affiliated with.
Right. Right, for sure.
We don't bank colors in my city.
I heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Philly nigga, I don't throw signs.
Man.
You know what's funny? Everybody got a gang sign. Anyway, I just find it amazing how everybody has something to do with their fingers now.
You know, I was doing that back in the day. COE.
We had a little uptown joint, but like it's like something that like only 10 of us do.
Right.
So we only do it when we see each other.
But you know what? I wanted to share something with you too. That's kind of a little off topic.
I want to see the art museum. Go ahead.
So yesterday I had a friend of mine was I went to go support one of my friends. They had some I told you infused food. So as I'm sitting there waiting, I'm talking. I haven't
You
seen
ain't bring
him
me
in
no
years.
plate. No, go ahead.
That was yesterday.
I know.
Listen, I fucked that shit
I
up.
still got cake for you though. But go ahead.
He's doing it again today. I'll go get you some. But no, so I'm sitting here talking to him. I ain't seen my homie in a long time. So whoever bringing out the platter, he give him the food. So I step out the car to get my food, and the boy was like, "Excuse me, real nice and polite." He's like, "You got a brother named Sabir?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "That was my childhood friend from 63rd." And I was like, "Oh, what's your name?" He was like, "BJ." I'm like, "He's like from 63rd Street." I'm like, "Oh," and I did remember his face, but that was so.
I mean, he grown now, like,
touching.
compared to when you seen him. So you
Clearly, yeah. My brother passed away 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So, do you like?
But it was love there though.
It was love
he
there.
was happy to see you type shit because of that.
It was, but I also felt like, damn, my brother's still around. Like,
Nah, man, that's what it is. You don't die till they stop saying your name.
exactly.
That's why being published and all that is ill as fuck.
Exactly. So
Like, you gonna be here forever, nigga.
right,
You in the books.
Forever.
You in the books, homie.
But yeah, so that was just dope because, and the fact that he even knew me because a lot of times I be thinking that people don't even remember me or whatever.
Yeah, and like you said, 14.
He passed away 14 years ago. He
14
said childhood
joints.
friend. So
Yeah, so he knew you probably before that.
exactly.
Because we always dictate from passing, as in that's when we saw somebody. But
Right.
yeah, I know what you mean.
Exactly. So that was just really like just to kind of lighten it up. Like that was kind of like
Rest in peace, Bear, man.
rest in peace, my brother.
Real shit.
So yeah. So.
Every day. Solid motherfuckers.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. And that's what's fucked up, because that's what's fucked up about this situation. When you see solid motherfuckers go, yo. Solid motherfuckers. Like, motherfuckers straight up is just like, they care. They doing. They're working hard.
Mhm.
He not above anybody.
Right.
And to get back to Floyd, Big Floyd as they called him, Steven Jackson was I've been watching him talk about him because, you know, that's his best friend, his twin, as they call each other. And he said, man, Floyd just wanted to be fly, man. He said, I used to send Floyd boxes of clothes. He sent me pictures with it stretched out on the bed like it's the first day of school, like I'm going to kill him. You know what I mean? He said he never asked me for money if he ain't need it. He said he went to jail one time, and I did some things to take care of his mom, paid a couple bills for his mom, but not even like the whole
That
time.
major,
Just like
right.
he stepped in when it was necessary.
Right.
He's like, that man never asked me for nothing. He said he just wanted to be fly. I sent him clothes. He supported me. He showed me love. And being somebody that was in the NBA as big and as long as Steven Jackson was, that's important to motherfuckers to have
Right.
someone solid.
Mhm.
Let alone, the most eerie thing about it is they look just alike. When I saw him and I saw his picture, I said, that's Steven Jackson. But it was a name on it. So I'm like, it can't be Steven Jackson. Cool. Whew.
Right.
Then like an hour later, I'm like, that was his man?
Right.
Who the fuck got a homie that looked just like him?
Right.
So I had a homie that looked close to me. People said, we didn't never agree with it. But they was like you talking about Steven Jackson's a big man. They was both big as shit and had the same face. And was still kind of like slender, like not husky big, like big athletic niggas
Right.
that look just alike. And it's
Right.
just like, how did y'all find each other? And then you hear the story about that. He like, yeah, my man said I got this homeboy that look just like you. Y'all probably got the same pop.
That's what I was wondering about. That's what I thought.
So he said he met him, and they looked at each other, and the first thing they said was, what's your dad name? Because it was that uncanny. It's like looking yourself in the mirror, literally. And not to say they looked exactly alike, but I'm talking about in the world of black motherfuckers that I've met, that's about 94%
Right.
of that man's face right there. I don't know about physical everything, you know, chest to chest ratio and all that shit.
Right.
But you look at that man's face, it look like he just missing probably a dimple. You know what I mean? So then what makes that eerie is because now you see Steven Jackson is in the activism mode. Salute to him for that.
shout out
Salute to
to him for
my
that.
sign. I saw Trader Truth standing with him. I saw quite a few of y'all out there. But now it actually looks like the dead is speaking for himself. Because you're looking at the guy that looks just like him, talking about him, and calling him twin the whole time. Which lets you not, like, lose the fact that this... Yo, it's so fucked. The world, man, whatever higher spirit y'all believe in is powerful as fuck. Because every excuse they've ever made to kill us, the next situation disputed it.
Right.
The next situation disputed it. To the point that we got to something that's undisputable, and then we have people that are affected of it and that have influence that never had it before that's connected to it directly. Like you have an NBA star that has one of the biggest new podcasts out right now.
Right.
And access to ESPN.
Right.
And fuck access. They want to talk to him.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They wanted to talk to him before this.
Right.
So it's like, these is levels of things. It's like the universe is going to work it out for us, man. We just got to help. We got to play our part. If it take a little nudge, give a little nudge, baby. Little nudge. But like, we've lost so many people this year, man. Great. I don't want to separate people's greatness, but I mean like legacies of like motherfuckers that we've watched our whole life do great things on a public eye. We've lost plenty of them, but we lost so many other motherfuckers that shouldn't have been lost to shit like this. How do you work during COVID, taking care of people, go to bed next to your boyfriend, wake up, get killed for laying in your own bed, and then your boyfriend goes to jail for attempted murder over your murder and has to mourn you in a cell while thinking that he's possibly going to do time over this shit? Do you understand how crazy that is?
No.
You could, all right, if you shoplifted and they caught you, not that you're a shoplifter, but if you shoplifted and they caught you and they said, hey, come on.
Right.
You going to sit in there and feel like a dickhead. You going to be upset. You going to be pissed at whoever disrespected you while they took you in, whatever. But you're not going to have that, damn, I just lost the person I love the most in the world. I'm being blamed for it. I might not, like, that's a lot of extra shit.
Yeah.
A lot. And that's one of them things where, like, it's a potential to not even go home on bail. You got to wait till this is hashed out 2 years later, probably 3 or 4 now, because we're dealing with extenuating circumstances.
Exactly.
Not to mention, I'm in a cell susceptible to COVID.
Yeah.
It's like, when I heard about that shit, and I'm glad they let him off, because for anybody that doesn't know the situation, he did get off. They dropped the charges. They let him out. But when I heard that he was in there, I was just like, I can't fucking imagine. I could not imagine.
He still missed the funeral, didn't he?
Huh?
Didn't he miss the funeral?
Yeah. I could not imagine, because it took a while for us to get that story, and when the outrage came, it was already so much time would pass. Like, but I love my people. Any of my folks go, I would hate to be somewhere tied up, locked up, because I'm tied up in it over some shit besides riding.
Right.
But he was riding, but it wasn't the riding thing. It's like the cops just invaded y'all for a warrant for somebody they already had in custody, killed an essential worker, and locked you up for it during COVID. How do you get to lock me up? Where in this story does it say I don't get to shoot back? I don't understand.
Man.
What is the right? Why do I have the right to carry a legal firearm?
Right.
I can't eat a bowl of fucking ice cream and watch TV on my couch in my drawers without being killed. And that's what I was explaining to somebody. They was like, there's ways, there's strategies and things to go about better than what's going on right now. And I was telling them, it's work people at the top gotta do, it's work people at the bottom gotta do, and they gotta meet in the middle.
What's that burning? That's not where the cars were.
That's a different spot?
Yeah. Yo, you know how much money they just spent on that fucking park?
What, that's Love Park?
Yeah. PNC, I think, no, Bank of America just sponsored that shit. They just fucking finished that shit. I know they are fucking heated. Literally and figuratively.
Now, you know what's funny, and you was talking about them doing Willie's earlier. Remember, and it happens every year now since he died. Remember when Dirt Bike Rail funeral?
Yeah.
Remember they ran them cops around the city all motherfucking day on them bikes?
Yep.
That's coming too. Trust me. It's nice outside. That's coming too. Wow.
What building? What building?
The bid is the
I was
shit,
talking about the park itself.
but she's on the board for the bid. Oh, all right.
Well, some of the park is from Bank of America too, though. The left part, yeah.
Yeah, listen to me clearly.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying they just finished that shit and it's fuck.
Zero fucks. You know how many motherfuckers they could have gave that money to instead of wasting it on something that lasts 6 months? That's what they get. Fuck is we talking about? Like, and that's my position. It's like somebody said, y'all burning down Section 8 housing, y'all burning down Target, y'all burning down. Now I know it's certain things that you need in every fucking community, and we gonna get a lot of shit rebuilt after this, because that's what happens in fucking communities. But they don't own none of that shit. And they don't have an opportunity to. They don't benefit from it. Them motherfuckers don't sponsor block parties and none of that shit. So why do we give a fuck? That's what I don't understand. Now, people being homeless, problem. Don't burn down people's buildings, but that building isn't owned by any of them motherfuckers.
Right.
But you know, when you lose your home, you lose a lot. You lose personal things, and you know that's things for your mental.
Right.
But like, let's be for real about what we're talking about. They saying you burning down your own shit. Whose?
But that's what I was getting to about if there
About
was a
small
business,
businesses and black
exactly.
businesses, and that's
That's
why
what I
I
was getting
said.
to for that.
But see, that's why we have a community, and we have a lot of new millionaires. A couple of them that's breaching billionaires. We gonna have to kick some things in the gear, just like T.I. posted the youngins in D.C. rumbling the police, and he said, "Yeah, it ain't gonna happen unless we do something about it."
Right.
And somebody in the comments said, "Well, I hope you gonna help them with their legal fees." And his reply was, "I can't wait to."
Right.
Next thing I know, Kaepernick set up a legal fund for this shit.
Right.
We already know what Hov and them doing.
Right.
Shout out to Meek. Know what
Shout
Meek
out to
doing.
Meek.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, when it comes to this shit, we gonna have to kick some things in the gear. And you know what? We might be able to make some things greater, but some things are going to have to happen because we've tried everything else. Tell me the thing that we was supposed to do that worked that we ain't tried.
Right.
I just want somebody to tell me when any other way has been successful for us, for our people. Y'all talking about we should have to vote 100 judges in, politicians in, and all of this shit, and wait for progress for some shit that should be allowed to us by right. I know that's the way to get to it, but if
Right.
they don't want us there, we need to speed this process up.
Right.
Is you fucking crazy? You gonna let a madman sit in the White House appoint all the racist motherfuckers, red flag every fucking thing that he can when somebody challenges him on his lies, and then say, "Oh no, shoot them, they tearing up the country."
Right.
Your pussy ass will survive a week on my block. Matter of fact, any block I've ever lived on, now that I think about it, because I was thinking, like, which block am I talking about? Because we on one
Any
block
block.
now. Any block I've ever lived on. And I don't live in poverty, but I've lived in some rough spots.
Yo, this world is just so fucking crazy. It's just such a shame to be a black person right now. Like,
It's not a shame.
I'm proud.
It's not a
I'm
shame.
proud.
It's never a shame.
No, I'm proud. But
never
it's a
a
shame
shame.
with the way the things that we got to go through. That shit is fucked up.
We were born with a cross to bear, and we were told, me and you were aware of that at a young age. And we've actually been able to go through life and help certain things and not have to deal with the magnitude of the things that our ancestors have. It's our turn now.
Mm-hmm.
It's our fucking turn. And you have a platform. I have platform. We're going to do our part on and off media. You know what I
Right,
mean? To get what we
right.
got to get done. But it's our turn.
Right.
And I'm not mad at it being my fucking turn. It's an honor to be in a position where I feel like I can influence or help or bring people together or build a network that may be able to help with some of the solutions. As I said, we don't have to create the solutions. We can figure out the solutions, research them, get them together, and figure out how we can best
Execute them.
execute them.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to belch. My
I
bad.
see you over there struggling.
Yeah, because the yak be yak.
I
But
need some yak in my life.
find out how to execute them for real. Like, I ain't gotta be the one who named motherfuckers. Oh, he figured it. No, I ain't never really been that
I've
guy.
always been a background type person.
I ain't
anyway.
never really been that guy. Don't do that to me. But I'll put some people in the room, and if motherfuckers say, "Yo, Atlanta, Philly, New York, Detroit, Chicago, blah blah blah, this is our plan. We need everybody they see to figure." I'll be a part of that. But until they do that, I'll help with getting us towards that. No problem. No problem with that. I'm excited to do it. But it's our turn, yo. It's our turn. It's our turn. We the first generation that didn't have to do this. So now we do. For real, when you think about it. This shit never didn't happen.
That's
We
true.
just never had to do it. We've seen the results of the bullshit.
Our parents were singing "I'm Black and I'm Proud," so
Yeah, it's
and
like
I mean that's just the most closest generation to us.
to
so.
us. And the one before that, you know what they went through? The one before that,
Exactly.
wasn't even free. You know what I mean? Like, they were born in slavery. So it's like, this is just, we not that far removed from it. So it's our turn. It's
I
our
just found
turn.
this dope picture of my great grandpa. I'm gonna show you real quick. And he of course was the first one that initiated the New Observer for my dad's side in regards to newspapers and media. But that's my great grandfather, and if you can see the headline of his newspaper and what it's dedicated to.
Now the funny thing is, I knew she was going to show me a pretty light skinned motherfucker.
Exactly, that's what I was getting to too. I had a conversation about that.
The headline on the paper actually reads "In Jim Crow Leaders." It's folded, but that's the part that I can see. It says "In Jim Crow Leaders," so it's the word or two before that.
So my point is like you were saying, what our ancestors
It's a
been
good
dealing
picture.
with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thankful and honored. Like you said, it's our turn.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be a part of lineage that's been fighting this for decades, for over 100 years. So.
Absolutely, that's major. But you should be proud to be someone that you didn't like. When we talk about your lineage, I'm pretty sure people think you inherited a newspaper or some shit.
Right.
You put yourself in a position to be able to carry that on.
Right.
And that's respectable as hell because you have your own thing separate.
Right.
I mean, it's never separate because that's your legacy and you you worked there since you was 5.
Right.
But
Literally,
at the same
when I
time,
learned my alphabet.
you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like you've developed a whole nother thing, a new way of doing things. You've adapted to the new twist and the dynamics and what's available and what's valuable now.
Right.
And that makes it able to carry it on, which is the same thing that your grandfather had to do, same thing your dad had to do when they passed on whatever they got from who they got it from on top.
Mm-hmm.
Because things change. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to shift. How do we receive our news now? What's the tone of it? What's the format, the layout of it? How are people used to ingesting it?
Right.
How do we do a little something that spikes it so we different,
Exactly.
but still stay within a vein that makes it where they can ingest it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's something not to be sneezed at ever. And that's why I always salute you about what you got going on. But you're literally in media form. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's our turn.
Right.
It's our fucking turn. Now, I ain't had nobody in media before. I had a lot of big mouth ancestors.
That was a form of media shit.
But you know what's funny? Yeah, because since the black barbershop and the black church, same thing, man. It's where people go to be themselves, to commune, to be able to get their stuff off their chest, get information and things. And we ran that in West Philly for a long time. And a lot of black barbershops that's open out there now are because of that. They saw that. They were influenced by that. They were barbers that came up through that, seeing that it was possible and made a move.
Right.
And possibly got help from my uncle, dad, or my grandfather anyway
Right.
to do so. But it's like, in a lot of ways, that was media. When you really think about it, it was bigger than media, but
You're creating resource and
it's
access.
strictly community. So I've been able to elevate it to a level where there's somebody in Japan and Australia and China that can get the message that was brewed from what my father instilled in me. Now, mind you, my father didn't instill this reefer in me, but he understands that I smokes it. So, like, I could be myself at all times, and I'm still the man that he raised me to be.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? He wasn't perfect. He smoked cigarettes till my mom got pregnant. Then he quit cold turkey. He a
At
bad
least he stopped when
motherfucker.
your mom got pregnant.
Bad motherfucker, yo.
My husband stopped smoking when I got pregnant too. He
I
stopped
think
smoking black
they say
mounts.
it's easier for men, though,
Yeah.
because my mom still smoke.
Yeah, I never smoked cigarettes, but I stopped smoking when I was pregnant, and then.
And I don't want to say
picked
my
right back
sister
up.
age on here, but she older than me.
Right.
And my
She
mom
smokes
still
cigarettes?
smoke. No, I'm saying my mom still. He stopped smoking when she got pregnant with her.
Right.
So just imagine how long that's been, and she's
That's
still
dope.
smoking
And
right
she
next
right around,
to
so
him.
that could be
She
enticing
right
for a
next to
person
him
that
in the
used to do
bed, burning port.
And that's how I be too. That's how I be.
Yo, that's hilarious though, man. But foundational love, real love, understanding. I learned a lot from my pop, man.
That's what's up.
He a bad motherfucker, man.
That's
Shout
dope.
out to the big homie.
Mine too.
Mind you, I love my affection for my pop is so much that I often call him my young boy, cause it be like, I see what you did there, little nigga. Like, I fucks with that.
You
Like,
so stupid.
and motherfuckers be like, you his young boy. I'm like, man, I don't call you that to his face.
right.
But it's
Right.
it's a different energy. It's like, kind of because I'm on the inside. Like, I see where he come from. I know what he trying to do. And when he do certain shit that I think he deserved to do so long ago, it's like a proud moment, and it's weird being proud of your parents for doing certain things.
Right.
Like, my dad always bought used cars. He made sure that we had a few cars at all times. So he bought 3 of them, but they was all used.
Right.
I had other people whose dads had to do whatever the fuck, and I knew he wanted to make what my dad was making. But my dad that wasn't his priority.
Right.
So when my dad bought his BMW, and he was excited about it, I was excited as fuck because I felt like he should have bought it 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And he never took advantage of the times that he could have done it because he was so focused on making sure when he fall back, he good. Mm-hmm. And when he decided to halfway fall back because he fell back, he was good.
Right.
And he had the cushion that made him say, you know what? I don't feel guilty about making this purchase that's really, in his eyes, vain to him. It's just something he wants. It's not something he needs.
Right.
And I learned from that. You know me, I done had 100. We probably done had the same amount of cars. Yours always look better than mine. I don't give a fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, and I'm not trying to make excuses for the value of my car. I mean, appearance of any vehicle I've ever been in, because I've loved most of my cars. Trust me. But it's just like, I've always been raised that
what is going on? What?
A car is just what you need.
Yo!
Oh, they fighting the police. They fighting the police.
It look like it's a female too.
Poe said good. No, but that's where my mentality come from. But let's get back to this. Now, currently we are watching what looks like a melee between the police and protesters. There's a lot of shoving.
It was punches thrown.
There was punches thrown.
All kinds of stuff.
It's not stopped yet. Naturally, the police are outnumbered because they always are.
Look, what?
Oh, that was rough. And it looks like it's females.
That's
involved.
what I'm saying. It's females.
It looks like the police are literally putting their hands on females. I can't tell what intersection they're at. But once again, like I said, we're watching the Philadelphia protests the first day after Big Floyd was murdered
That's probably JFK.
by police. They running. They must have sprayed something.
I just saw something. Okay. I just saw flashes. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be careful though, cause there's a lot of, they throw them flashbangs and they sound like fucking explosives.
I just want to make sure nobody wasn't shooting right there. Cause I
and
just
they
saw a
look
flash.
like you got shot. Look. Yeah, they throwing them. Now, as said before, they're doing things to back the crowd up. But when there's a lot of people, they just threw a big ass table or something at the police. Oh, that was a street sign. That was the like a detour sign or something. Cause I can see the base of it laying there. The paddy wagon is moving.
Yo, they throwing tables. And he caught it and threw it.
He caught it, threw it back.
What?
So the cop got what looked like a table. It was a square metal looking object at his head. He caught it and threw it right back.
He caught that shit mid-air.
Yeah,
I've never seen.
No, that was some tight end
shit.
That was some tight end shit. That nigga played football. Now the cops.
Now he got his stick out. He's ready to fuck somebody up now.
The cops right now are trying to reconfigure themselves to better suit this situation, but it actually looks like they're just making a circle that they're gonna wind up in the middle of.
Which
and I don't know.
Fucking stupid.
I don't know what the plan is. Maybe there's somebody that's gonna enter. Maybe they have someone, units coming that's gonna. But right now,
the paddy wagon just came out there.
Yeah, the wagon just left. So I'm like, why is the wagon leaving unless there's a plan, right? Because you need to, right? Or are they just trying to save all their vehicles because they haven't been able to in any city in America this week? Yeah, y'all gonna need a lot of cars, man. But it's cool because the dealerships aren't selling cars, so y'all should be able to get a fleet for cheap. It'll be okay.
But the city's fucking broke.
It's fucking broke. The motherfuckers be donating them cars to these dickheads anyway.
Shit.
That's how I feel.
No, they don't. They be buying them motherfuckers.
I know.
I done seen the books. I know.
They pay too much for that shit, actually.
They do.
They don't even negotiate.
They'll tell them, look, we just trust me. I just looked at the books. They'll tell them so for like the new Explorer, like you can't get. So what was it? You couldn't get navigation without getting 20-inch rims. We don't need rims. We just want navigation. Well, you
Factory.
can't get that.
Can I get a factory
No.
car for work?
No, you can't.
Motherfucker.
No, you can't. Sorry.
And it was put in
And it
place
was
that
for
way
$20,000. So you got to get the joint for $20,000 for one car. $20,000.
But you know how they know they can get you for that? Because they know that you're gonna come to them for your cars. You know why? Because all the cars been the same in every city for the last 20
So because I'm
fucking
getting more than
years.
one, I can't even get a discount on it. I gotta give you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh no, it's real. They know y'all. Look, they gotta get them. What they driving this year? Explorers and Chargers. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like that's all it is. Like they got you on the corner, but I don't give a fuck about their budget. You know why? Because one of my solutions to stopping this shit is if you stop making the fucking city pay for these police fucking fines and killing people. Because if it affects the department
Right.
and they budget, I bet you they start firing cops when they fucking trip somebody the wrong way.
Right.
That's a solution. Finance always works.
Oh, so they on the side where them apartments are, where the Ritz-Carlton is.
Yeah. They put the fire out
Wasn't
at...
that the Starbucks? Ain't that the Starbucks?
They put the Starbucks fire out. Fuck Starbucks.
Right.
Like, no sympathy for Target or Starbucks. I'm sorry.
I mean, well, this is where the Starbucks, the international issue of Starbucks happened 3 blocks up. So
yeah, we ain't far from
how
right
ironic.
there now, actually.
How ironic.
Right.
3 blocks up.
No, I'm telling you, there's a lot of irony in all this shit that's going on right now. And maybe in another episode we get to break it down. Right
But
now,
you know
we
what?
got
I'm
so
thinking
much
about our
going on.
firefighter friend. I hope I don't know if he's working today. If he like,
I think about, you know how many homies I got, man. You know I know cops. You know I
Man.
know firefighters. You know I know
right.
motherfuckers that's trying to empty trash cans right now. Like, this shit is just like, but we're all going to be affected because it affects all of us. We are a human fucking race. And if you can't fucking ride for the same hue as you and take a little inconvenience a couple times, then I
You
can't
know what? I
feel
just came up
bad.
with a line. If you can't ride for the same hue as you, who is you?
Who is you? See, that's the next. That's my next hook. We got it on wax.
Hey,
It's my next hook.
let's go.
You know I rap, right?
You do?
That's why sometimes I say cool shit by accident. It's weird.
Oh.
It's weird.
I must be a rapper too.
I think you thought you was. Pretty sure you thought you was.
Hater.
So
Hey.
If you really gave a fuck about it, I would put it past you. But you never donated enough energy to that.
I didn't. I like the sounds. I want to donate to making
I
it.
always bet on Saf.
Oh, appreciate you, bro.
You know that. And I don't even like betting on red. I always bet black. But Saf, I bet on Saf.
For the win.
So yeah, this has been a very all over the place episode because the whole country's all over the place right now.
Yeah,
And
for
in the
so
middle
many.
of us trying to, my bad, we're
No, it's
trying
cool.
to come together and talk about what's going on in society, and it just coincided with the same time that the city was protesting, and we've been getting real-time updates on it. So we had to adjust for that because I do want people to know that may not be privy because I'm watching CNN currently, and it's not even on there. I want people to know what the climate was like where I'm at during this shit, where she's at. She still has to travel through what's going on right now, and they
Right.
just issued us a curfew that we just found out about a couple minutes
Yeah,
ago.
they issued the curfew for 2 hours, an hour after the time they just issued it, and it's within an hour. So I feel like that's a whole plan and a motive in itself, because everybody's protesting. So how are we gonna get home? We not. So what you gonna do?
Yeah, well, I mean, they say that hoping that people don't come out and the people that can get home, but they also understand that there's a window of time that you still got to allow for motherfuckers.
Man,
But
it's propaganda.
the problem is being in those areas. That's what
Absolutely.
they're worried about.
But I mean, typically that would be the way that I would go home. I mean, I'm glad that I'm aware. I'm not going home that way,
You can go
but
up.
that would be the way that I would go home. It would have been the easiest and quickest way, but
I'm going to tell you, go up, cut over.
Yeah.
But
I came down that way, so it's all good.
just be careful, pray, kiss your babies,
Yeah.
and support people. If you know somebody that's out there, ask them in real time, like if this is going to go on for a while or if there's moves after this, ask them how you can help. I know that they say gallons of milk help when they start spraying mace, and people need water, and I'm pretty sure there's toilet paper necessities or something. It might be something you could just contribute if you're not physically able to leave
Right.
your children in the crib. And I think at a time like this not really the one to take the kids to. So it's understandable if you can't make it, but just make sure that you support those that are. If you know somebody that needs help with their legal fees because they were genuinely out there fighting for the cause, try to find a way to get them some aid, man. Reach out to your law friends, reach out to your rich friends, and see if y'all can figure something out for each other, or just give them what you have and can afford to give. We're gonna have to dig a little deeper this time than usual if need be.
Yeah.
But I just want everybody to stay safe. I want this shit to stop. And I want motherfuckers to just let me know if there's anything that I could do better to help the situation, and I'll do it. But I'll keep y'all posted about our plans for the future. Like I said, when it comes time to rebuild, I want to be on the ground floor with the people. So we're going to start that initiative very soon. We're going to start wrapping our brains around that and pulling our networks together and figuring out a space to hold that safely and respectfully and intelligently. Because that's what we need to be right now.
Absolutely.
But anything you wanted to say? I'm sorry.
No, I'm just a little emotional right now. It's just
a little
so much going on. Yeah, it's just so much going on. Like, usually, Philly is a supportive city. Our moniker is the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection. But typically, I don't really see it get to this magnitude of police cars on fire and curfews, and like it was reminding me of like the race riots in LA and Watts, and
it's our turn.
It's just a lot. So I can't even say I digested it yet because I haven't. Right now I'm still in shock. I'm just in shock of all that's going on. I'm in shock of the event that even caused the commotion that's going on right now. So I don't even know what feeling to feel right now. Like I'm just.
And you know what? That's an important point that you picked up, that you pointed out. I've been telling people the last couple of days, the thing that bothers me the most with this shit is I'm not going to be satisfied no matter what the outcome is, and I already know that. If they prosecuting and they sentence him, it won't be based on the right charges. I feel like at this point, with the magnitude, they need to make an example out of a police officer that gives other police officers something to look at when they think about doing this.
Right.
Because any other thing that they try to shift, they put in mandatory minimums and they make examples out of people that don't have resources and things to fight against the shit that they throwing against them.
The mayor of Minneapolis made a good point, and he said, if I did it or you did it, we'd be in jail. If anybody else did the same exact thing, they would be in jail.
And that's why I don't want to hear about black on black crime, and I really don't want to ever hear about it, because every fucking body that's in poverty fights the motherfuckers that's right next to them. You know why? Because everybody's scraping for scraps trying to get to the fucking top, and in between all of that shit, a lot of funky shit happens. But if somebody gets killed in the hood, 8 times out of 10, it's a fucking reason, unless they caught astray. Now, the reason might not be something that I value, you value, or whatever, but if the world don't love you, don't give a fuck about you, and you can get killed for fucking selling the fucking cigarette, then motherfuckers' mentalities change, and they do a lot of low-level things, a lot of lower vibration things, I should call it. But if you let people, feel like humans, you get rid of that 3/5 of a person mentality, then you'll see a different result out of people. Because people, especially our people, are huge resources for every fucking thing that goes on in this world. And that shit doesn't stop because you see a couple murders. They still down there begging for a way out, and y'all motherfuckers is telling them no. And I'm not condoning any of it, but it has nothing to do with this. And like I said before, and I'm going to always say it, I know people that's fighting every day for that cause too.
Right.
So when you say we don't say anything until they do it, stop that shit. It's ignorant rhetoric, and it makes you look fucking stupid, and it shows that you're lazy. Because if you really gave a fuck, you would know that that's not true. But my bad. I done raised my voice a few times, and it ain't been laughing like we usually do. But you know, it is what it is, man. Desperate times, man. Desperate times. But this has been another episode of Sippin' with Sammie, Sam Malone. Hold on, Saf.
Yes.
Do you think?
So you already know, especially right now. I mean, I can't even emphasize it anymore than to let you know that it's important to have positive platforms.
Absolutely.
So you can check me out on thescenemagazine.com for a positive platform that's dedicated to everything that you need in one. It's a lifestyle magazine, and we're just here to encourage and lift, enlighten, motivate, and be a positive resource and place of access. So holla at me on thescenemagazine.com.
Absolutely, make sure you check her out, man. My bad about that.
It's all good.
But I'm all over the place right now mentally. But like I said, I am Sippin' with Sammie. This has been another episode of Sippin' with Sammie. Sam Malone, Barstool, Rug. If you ain't sippin' with Sammie, you ain't sippin' right. Get your fucking life together.
I gotta get my life together, and I'm always sipping with Sammie.
See that? We all do though. But we here every week, every Thursday, 4 p.m. We release. Check me out on Fridays on glocawearradiostation, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Glocawearr.
every Friday. Best happy hour in the world, greatest station in the nation. Check out them trippings we put up for y'all, something to entertain y'all during COVID. We still getting caught up, so we still got more for you, and the world about to open back up, so the train don't stop. But don't expect me at your event immediately. I'm falling back for a bit.
Yeah,
just
I'm out on the
FYI.
first wave.
Yeah. Anyway, we appreciate everybody that tunes in, everybody that shares. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that cool shit. It is appreciated and it's necessary. So see y'all next week, man.
They tryna tear the ghetto down. That's why I told my homies put the metal down. Settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down.
Up in the morning, every day yawning. Spark of a wood, every day ain't boring. Look at the news, 5 minutes at the snooze. Look at the news, 6 hours at the booze. Watch on my wrist so you know what time it is. Rap better show so they know what line it is. Nobody equal and they brainwashing people. Hit Mike Brown with 6 shots like a free throw. Life ain't fair and I'm still wearing ass. Juicing for my dinner so I'm cutting up pears. I really don't care, square up with a bear. I really don't care, take the mic from a man. Life like a movie, like they free little Boozy. Waiting for my chance, trying to test out the Uzi. My squad getting busy, but you know that already. Stand up for yourself, the pigs ain't loyal.
Seen too many dark nights. That's why sometimes I leave it called park nights. And settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down. They tryna tear the ghetto down. That's why I told my homies put the metal down. Settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down. Laying on the pillow, eyes wide open. Tired as hell, but can't shake my emotions. Meds don't work, need something more potent. Cause stress keeps interrupting my smoking. They say we hopeless, I know better. Say we deserve less than pets and I know better. I show better, nah bruh, I ain't perfect. Never did nobody harm who ain't deserve it. The time put in these verses seem my only outlet. And I ain't found my way out yet. So I toss, turn on the news. Country on their way to war for other dudes. Same in the streets, in other news. Homie killed the homie from his crew. Streets say he had it coming. Gotta figure out something. I'm getting too numb and I ain't running. Seen too many dark nights. That's why sometimes I leave it called park nights. And settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down. They tryna tear the ghetto down. That's why I told my homies put the metal down. And settle down, settle down, settle down.